Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Friday, guys! Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well this season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Friday, guys! So of course, I'm going to give all of you guys a shout out. I want to give a special shout out to my new subscribers. They're climbing and climbing, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. Thank you to my seasoned subscribers for your likes and your comments and your shares. It's truly reaching more and more people. Each day I wake up, it's 15 to 20 new subscribers, and I'm so grateful, so thankful. So what I'm going to speak about in this recording, chosen one, is the rebirth of the promise. The rebirth of the promise. Now, you guys know we are coming out of a season where an extensive pruning season has happened, pruning of people, places, and things. And at some point, it was very troublesome because we couldn't understand what God was doing, or even we thought that some of these people would be in our life long term, if you will, meaning due season, destiny seasons, things like that. And we realized that it wasn't. His ways are not our ways. So what we realize is that the blueprint that we thought, it wasn't, right? The destination is still the same, if you will, but the directions are different in many different ways. So I'm not one to say things like in 3 days or in 5 days or in the month of May. That's just not me. Right? I'm not saying that that's just not me. Personally, I felt like God have always dealt with me and gave me downloads for seasons, right? For seasons. But there's something, and again, I won't say the month of May, but I guess we can tie it in there for those who do believe in like days or months or whatever, or years. But in this season, there is a renewal, and we can feel spiritually the ending of the last season. And we can also feel the release of people, places, and things, and we're actually okay now. Where before, we may have been hanging on like wild cats, trying to keep people around maybe for our own trauma triggers, our own abandonment issues, our own people-pleasing spirits at times, just whatever, right? People, places, and things. So when we didn't know what God was doing, we were trying to hang on to these things. Even when God was giving us every conviction to let it go, to release it in order to be excelled to the next level. Now we're actually okay with it. We are truly, truly, truly at a place and a posture of surrender. Now, granted, we may have been forced into it. Not like we had the choice. We just realized that our way was no longer working. Our thoughts was just not it. Or we may have seen fruits and things like that, and then things came to a halt, and the desire started to leave you, and it's just, right? Where in this season, there's a rebirth of the promise. And many of you have already started to see signs and wonder again. I don't want to say, potentially, I want to be careful with my words, but I think a lot of chosen people, I don't want to say gave up on the promise, because it's too profound in our spirit to say that we fully gave up, meaning 100%. I think we got turned off from it so bad, because of everything we had been through. Even those of you who are like myself, who are very, very determined. So you are seeing movement for a great time, and then something just happened. Something happened. A shift happened where you finally threw your hands up, right? And that shift could have been something in the physical realm or even the spiritual realm. Meaning you saw something You got disappointed about something. You got frustrated about something in the physical realm, or speaking in the spiritual realm, the spiritual side of things. Maybe God removed that desire for different reasons, meaning he still needed to do work on the other side, right? Because remember, there's giants in your land, people, places, and things. He needed to still do work on the other side, and you just kept getting ahead of him, right? I'm notorious for that. I'm so much better now. Let me change my words. I used to be notorious for that, right? So maybe you kept getting ahead of him, and the fact that you kept getting ahead of him, you kept getting disappointed. And so rather than he have you keep getting disappointed where you walk away in its entirety from the promise, he took the desire away from you and sat you down somewhere while he continued to clean up things on the other side of the promise. But either which way, if it happened physically or spiritually, you got turned off from it. Okay, some of you guys may have actually left it completely and went on to start and create something completely opposite of the promise, or completely different of the promise. And truth is, you may have started to even see some progress in whatever that new thing is, right? That new thing could have been or can be a person, place, or thing. You started to see some progress there. And then in seeing that progress, you started to really tell yourself like, well, the promise never really was, obviously, because things are now working out on this new side of things. But then on the new side of things, things started to get shifty. The new people started to show their true colors. God started to reveal truth to you that they were counterfeits all along, that the enemy sent them to distract you, to keep you from your continuous progressing, the things that we should be doing, the things we were given, right? The things we were given to become our best self. So you start working on those things. Because see, the promise, the things that we have to do to progress is a challenge, right? It's discipline. It's a challenge. That's a requirement for the promise. That's a requirement for the next level. But when it comes down to counterfeit things, it's not a requirement. So instead of us staying put and working on the requirements and the things that God gave us to work on, again, these are all physical things that, physical realm, things that God, therapy, working out, eating more clean, financial literacy, cleaning up credit, premarital counseling, this, that, and the third, right? The things that God told us to work on, we got distracted and we stopped those things completely once we felt the disconnect from the promise. So we started playing around with counterfeit things. And then we started to lie and tell ourselves, well, the promise never really was. Maybe this is the promise. Honey, we know that's... we were just having fun. But if we're really, 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 really honest and transparent, we know that stuff was not up in our spirit. That was just distractions from whatever, because many chosen people took major hits in the last season, hits that literally dropped you. So a lot of these things were distractions. So we started to like really have a great time because we can be distracted, right? From the hurt, the pain, whatever area that we were trying to run from in order to heal, right? Then you messed around and got comfortable there. Person, place, or thing. But if you're honest, you never felt it in your spirit the same as you felt with the promise. The promise was in your spirit. The counterfeits was flesh, was emotions. It was not spirit. And so many of us, God started tapping us like in that 2024, that September, October, November, December, even going into 2025, tapping us And some of you guys know exactly when that SAP started in the ending of 2024 going into 2025. So it was something about 2024 where that conviction of needing to release was accelerated. Now, some of you guys made your head hard and let it linger into 2025, right? But there was a release in 2024 that needed to be solidified, but we took some residue. I'm sorry, at the end of 2024, it needed to be solidified, and we took some residue into 2025. Those of us who took the residue in 2025, God allowed the thing, the person, or the place to disappoint you. Where in 2024, the ball would have been in your court, meaning if you would have left and left fully, you would have never really got burned or got your feelings hurt. But because we made our head hard and we lingered into 2025, you know what? I just received that. My goodness. I was just sitting here saying initially how I don't get years or months, or like I get more seasons. But 2025 is the season. The rebirth of the promise. Again, some of you guys you're starting to see how can I explain? I'm trying to really explain what I feel in my spirit about this rebirth of the promise. Even though you got turned off from it, even though you thought it would never manifest, or even if you thought it would because you saw fruit and you saw movements of it, and then you got to halt, let it be through disappointment or God taking it from you, right? Whatever it may be, that thing had to die. And I think that thing is more so less on us having the wrong insight, us trying to run it, meaning telling God how it should go, when it should go, this, that, and third. Like all our flesh had to die from it. This is why now we no longer have that anxiety for it. This is why God is starting to reawaken your spirit again about it. Now, the difference, you see the difference, is not all fleshly. It's not all the thoughts that you had about it, right? It's not all the hastiness and the anxiety you had about it. All that have died. Now, this rebirth, you're receiving it more spiritual. You're seeing it now for what it truly should have always been. So no, you may not be as excited, right? You may not be as hasty for it, but instead you're now in a posture where it can now find you, and it will. It's going to come to you. Before, we were too busy trying to go and get it, right? Then God clipped our wings and made us sit down. So now it's going to find you. Now it's going to come naturally. It's the same promise. It's the same promise. But it's a different mindset. It's no longer flesh. It's all spirit. It was so much things that had to be done on the other side that we don't even know about. I remember chatting with you guys in my email or through the comment section, and some of you, listen, some of us were so frustrated. And truth of the matter is, we were always getting ahead of God and didn't even realize it. And I think the reason why we were getting ahead of God is because it was so profound in our spirit. Like it was so profound that we just couldn't sit down. We had to go and chase that feeling. Like our spirits were too ignited for it to sit down and do nothing. Like, no, God, let me help you out. And now, honey, you are truly in a place of surrender. You're in a place of it is what it is. You're in a place of, okay, God, if you, whatever you say, whenever you say, I'll be right here. Just let me know. Where before we were running ahead of God, making a straight fool of us. What are some of the things that needs to happen on the other side that you may have not known about? Now, who knows? Only God knows, right? I'm just throwing some things out here. God dealing with addictions that you may have not known about and potentially had drawn you in. Because remember, we were all hasty, full of anxiety. Some people would have, well, not my chosen ones, because we don't conform to anything, right? We're solid in being leadership mindsets. But some people could have potentially even fallen into the addiction because if you're too, if you're not careful, if you're idolizing something and you don't even realize it, right? Versus you have the mindset to change the room, you will conform to the room. So God could have potentially been saving you from getting involved with a person, an environment that could potentially have introduced you to something, and you thought you would have just been over there, trying to fit in with it, and before you know how to use a whole crackhead. God be trying to save us, honey. A full-blown crackhead. Oh my goodness. Um, Giants in the land, right? And potentially these giants, some of them can look like family, other family who would not like you because your light, they already know like your light is going to change some things, right? And so you can have all the right intentions, but the enemy, Satan, will download things into people's head on the other side. Well, now these people seeing you, honey, as like you're the demon, and the whole time they're the demon, right? So you weren't powerful enough yet. You didn't have enough kind of power that you needed to go over there with those demons and try to stand, right? Because it just wasn't time. Now, if it was time, oh, you would have been good. You would have slayed every giant, solo dolo or not, right? But we weren't there yet. So God isn't crazy. You're chosen. He have to save you. Okay, so that can look like family and friends and things like that because they know that there's going to be a shift, right? Things have to straighten out, right? Once you get there. It also could look like other people, counterfeits. Counterfeits who have already placed witchcraft, love spells and potions and doshes and honey, wherever them witches play with in that territory, in that land. So people, places, or things, listen, let me tell you something. The way the spiritual realm works, the promise always knew that it was you. People, places, or things getting where you fit in, they always knew it was you, but they were in bondage. And that bondage was too strong for them to break away, if you will, think for themselves, if you will, conquer certain demons, if you will, but they always knew. So it was too many different forces. And because it was not God's timing, you didn't have authority yet. Anything that God has for you, especially something such as this, you're going to be fought tooth and nail. Most people do not reach their promised land because how difficult it is. Many of us, chosen ones, you guys know, we're determined. You guys know if we want it, it's ours, if God says so. You guys know we don't give up easy, right? We don't. But think about it. If we ourselves have had thoughts of giving up, or again, for some of us, some of you, some of us walked away temporary or just out of frustration, think about the people who just don't have that determination in them, right? So you see how easy it is for people to give up and never reach their actual promised land. But congratulations, you stayed. You weren't perfect. We weren't perfect. We ain't that cute, boo. Oh, we mess up. Oh, we messed up, but that's all right. That's all right. We're back in alignment, right? So it's not about who stays in alignment the entire time. It's about if you fall, you get back up, right? Some of us took some major, major spiritual attacks and hit. We fell real hard, but we got back up. Some of us started entertaining counterfeits. It's okay, right? God knew that you were just trying to, the difference is you felt that conviction and you moved on obedience over emotions. So the point I'm making here is not that you were perfect. It's not that we stayed in alignment. The point I'm making is we got hit. We got back up. We got back in alignment. Each time we get off course, we paid attention when God says, get your behind back. We got back in line. So it's never a straight line in anything. In anything. It's the people who get back up when you hear God tell you to get back up and start back focusing, start back discipline, start back doing whatever to get back in alignment. And here we are. Not all of us, because some of y'all are still playing with the very thing that should have been released in 2024. But please hear me and hear me well. Please. To those of you who are still toggling and you are still playing with things and you are refusing to acknowledge your convictions and refusing to get back in alignment because maybe you're having a lot of fun. Let's just be real here, right? You are playing with fire because the shift is, we're literally, right, we're in the shift. You have to feel it spiritually. I don't care if it hasn't physically manifested. The shift is here. And it's a slow shift. Think about two trains, right? They're on maybe not the same track. Is it the same track or, I don't know. The tracks are together. The tracks are parallel, right? But one is going and one is coming, right? But they're going very, very slow. They're going very slow. Don't miss your train because of disobedience. So it's either going to be, the choices are, you stay where you are, because God is not going to, let me just tell you something, honey. God is not going to force you. Now, granted, God will snatch you up, and if he wants you back, he'll snatch a rug and get you right real quick, right? But either you're going to get comfortable or remain comfortable, I should say, and just enjoy where you are with counterfeits, with your counterfeit destiny, and be there forever. And honey, it's fun now, but it's going to be hell in a little while because God's grace is not on that thing, right? Or you can do everything that God is requiring you. Get back in alignment. Again, doesn't mean we're perfect, right? We're still slipping because the enemy is fighting us so hard right now. So we're still slipping. But I really believe that God sees a lot of us trying. And there's guys, you guys feel it? There's just a grace. Even though the enemy is still attacking us through exhaustion and like a spirit of heaviness some days, there's a grace. There's still a grace to get things done. We're not getting it done to perfection, if you will, but it's almost like God is allowing us to slide and pass if we get a C minus. It's like he's working with us, right? Because he knows the enemy is really, really challenging us right now, right? People are dealing with mental health, right? People are and this is why, too, you got to be very careful about what you allow to overwhelm you or stress you out or cross your boundaries, you got to be firm. Like right now, like typically I'm the person who will, I don't really let people move my boundaries, but I'll toggle with them if I'm honest every now and then. But now, honey, my boundaries are so firm because I know what the enemy is trying to do, right? He wants us from that C minus to F. It's not going to happen, sir. I'm staying at my C minus until I get to an A, period. One last thing, guys, because I know this is for me too. Well, all of it is. But those of you like me who don't always release offense easily, or forgiveness may not always be your strong point, if you will, when the promise returns, and this is not for everybody, you will know who you are when I say this. When the promise returns, you must release the offense. Because, well, first thing before I say that is if you don't release the offense, you're not going to navigate it properly. It has to be a clean slate, right? Because if you have offense, you're going to be side-eyeing people. You may not say nothing, right? But listen, we're too sensitive to let you play up with us or not recognize or this, that, and the third. And you should have known what I carry. You should have known, right? Nope, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. So if you're side-eyeing things, you're going to be in your feelings and you're not going to navigate things. Remember, you're a vessel, so you're not going to navigate things from a pure intent. Also, the main reason why it's going to be fair to release and forgive 100% is because truth of the matter is, it was not the season. It just wasn't time. So everything made sense to you because you're chosen. God shown it to you. He allowed you to feel it. He allowed you to see it. But that's you. He gave it to you. You're chosen. The other side, even if they knew, nothing was in order to even receive you properly. They were fighting for their lives over there. Even if you don't know about it, they were fighting for their lives over there. Even if you tried to keep shaking things and shaking people, do you not say? They couldn't see it, honey. I mean, even if they did again, they just didn't have the power. It just wasn't time. But now it's time. So now they will receive everything you said. They will remember everything you said. But most importantly, they will be able to receive it now. In fact, God is bringing things back to their spirit that they may have heard it or they may have seen it or something struck them, like something convicted them, and they knew it, but they didn't sit in it. Where now, right? God is bringing it back to there. Okay, an example of that can look like, you knew before you answered the call, there were people who maybe spoke things in your life like, honey, you were probably straight up wilding, right? But people spoke things in your life like, God showed me that when you turn 60, you're going to be a prophet, or God's going to do some great things in your life. Like they said it to you, but it never stick. But when that time came, now that you 107, right? You can remember specifically. You can remember specifically who said what to you about the very calling you're currently. So you see how it comes back. It comes back. So certain things that were said to them, certain things that they've seen, certain convictions that they feel, certain times that they, this, that, and the third, is now coming back to them. But look at the difference. You see the difference? You don't have to say anything. Where before, it was you trying to force, us trying to get ahead of God. Now we're chilling in the cut. We're laying like gators. That pressure is no longer cracking our back like lobsters. Your girl got bars. We're chilling. And now everything is being revealed spiritually, awakened, while you're chilling. So now it will find you. The rebirth of the promise. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.